Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for joining us for another Terror and Urban Myths. If you're enjoying the show, remember to hit that subscribe button and give us a like.
Definitely.
Today, we're heading deep into the heart of Europe to explore a legend that chills the bone and really ignites the imagination we're talking about, the Wolf Mountain Pact.
This legend has a way of tapping into our primal fears. You know, the kind that linger in the shadows of our collective consciousness.
Yeah.
It's rooted in a place where the landscape itself seems to whisper warnings.
Mm-hmm.
A mountain shaped like a wolf looming over a secluded valley.
It's more than just the shape, though, isn't it?
Right.
There's this sense that this mountain is somehow alive, a presence that makes the locals uneasy.
For sure.
On nights when the moon is full, they say the mountain breathes and the valley echoes with these unsettling sounds.
Precisely sounds that defy explanation, howls that don't quite resemble those of any known wolf.
Yeah, it's as if the mountain is channeling something ancient, something wild, that refuses to be tamed by time. But the true heart of this legend lies in a tale passed down through generations, the story of a young boy and his encounter with the wolves that once haunted the region.
Right.
Classic setup for a chilling tale. We have a remote village, a menacing mountain, and a pack of wolves straight out of a nightmare. Set the scene for us. What unfolds next?
Picture this, a winter night, bitter cold, grips the land. A young boy finds himself lost in the woods. He's searching for his dog fear gnawing at him as he hears the chilling howls of wolves drawing closer. He huddles behind a tree, certain his end is near.
It's a scene that triggers a visceral reaction, doesn't it? The isolation, the vulnerability, that primal fear of being hunted.
Exactly. It taps into something deep within us, a fear that has resonated throughout human history.
Yeah.
But here's where the legend takes an unexpected turn.
Okay.
Instead, attacking the alpha wolf, a creature of immense size and piercing eyes approaches the boy, but instead of tearing him limb from limb, it guides him toward a hidden cave at the base of Wolf Mountain.
It's a fascinating departure from the typical wolf narrative the wolf often casts as the villain, becomes something else entirely, a protector, perhaps.
That's the question that lies at the heart of this legend inside the cave. The boy's fear gives way to astonishment. He sees a wolf statue carved from stone, its eyes gleaming with rubies that seem to burn with an inner fire.
It's an image laden with symbolism, isn't it? A wolf rendered in stone, its eyes holding the fiery intensity of rubies. Its beast is something beyond the ordinary.
Indeed, some interpret it as a representation of the wolf spirit itself, a totem imbued with the power of the mountain. Others see it as a symbol of the pact that is said to have been formed that night, a pact between the boy and the wolves.
So after this encounter, the boy is led back to safety, but the story doesn't end there. The encounter seems to have a profound impact on the relationship between the villagers and the wolves.
You're right. After the boy's experience in the cave, the wolves stop terrorizing the village. The attacks cease entirely. It's as if the boy, through his encounter with the alpha and the ruby-eyed statue, brokered a peace agreement, a pact shrouded in mystery that brought an end to the bloodshed.
This young boy, chosen by the wolves, led to a hidden cave shown a mysterious statue. It almost feels like a ritual, an initiation into something larger than himself.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? And it speaks to the human desire to find meaning and connection in a world that can often feel chaotic and unpredictable. We crave order, we seek understanding, and sometimes we find it in the most unexpected places.
The legend doesn't elaborate on the specifics of this pact or the powers the ruby-eyed statue might hold, but it's clear that the villagers believe something profound transpired in that cave.
The boy is forever linked to the wolves in the mountain, a living embodiment of the pact that holds a balance between their worlds.
This is where the true mystery of the Wolf Mountain Pact takes root. We're left with more questions than answers. What is the true nature of this pact? What agreement could a young boy strike with a pack of wolves?
These are the questions that have haunted the valley for generations. Questions that continue to intrigue and unsettle us. Questions that whisper of the ancient bond between humanity and the wild. A bond both fascinating and fraught with peril. What strikes me about this legend is that it doesn't simply cast wolves as mindless beasts driven by bloodlust. It presents them as a force of nature, capable of both violence and, in this case, a kind of fragile peace.
It's a departure from the traditional big bad wolf trope we often find in folklore. There's a nuanced complexity to their role here. They are both a threat and a potential source of protection.
Precisely. They embody the inherent duality of the wild, both beautiful and terrifying, capable of destruction and harmony. And then there's the enigmatic presence of the ruby-eyed statue, adding another layer of intrigue to the narrative.
That statue has certainly captured my imagination. It's such a striking image. We know it was found in a hidden cave guarded by the alpha wolf, and that it has these mesmerizing, glowing ruby eyes.
Right.
What meaning do you ascribe to it?
It's a question that invites speculation. It could be seen as a representation of the wolf spirit, a conduit to the raw power of the mountain itself. The rubies, with their fiery intensity, might symbolize the lifeblood of the pact, the element that binds the wolves and the villagers together.
It almost feels like a tangible manifestation of an ancient unspoken agreement, a contract written in a language we no longer understand.
An apt analogy, and it raises a crucial question: what are the terms of this unspoken pact?
Right.
What is expected of the villagers in return for the wolves' protection? What price did they have to pay for this uneasy peace?
The legend leaves those details shrouded in mystery. We're given glimpses, but no concrete answers.
That's part of what makes it so compelling. It invites us to fill in the blanks, to imagine the rituals, the sacrifices, the unspoken agreements that might have forged this delicate balance between humanity and the wild.
It compels us to consider the compromises our ancestors might have made to coexist with nature, especially with creatures as powerful and unpredictable as wolves.
Indeed, it speaks to a time when humans lived in closer proximity to nature's rhythms, recognizing their dependence on and vulnerability to the forces of the wild. This pact, passed down through generations, becomes more than just a tale. It's woven into the fabric of their existence.
It becomes a part of their collective memory, shaping their worldview, their interactions with the mountain, their relationship with the wolves, a constant reminder of the pact their ancestors struck and the responsibility to uphold its terms.
It's a potent reminder that peace, particularly when dealing with forces beyond our control, often comes at a price. Some agreements, even those forged with the untamed aspects of nature, are vital to preserve.
It's fascinating how this theme of pacts with nature, with spirits, with powerful animals, appears in cultures around the globe.
You're right, this human impulse to understand and appease the forces that shape our lives is universal. We seek to make sense of the unknown, to find ways to live in harmony, even with the things that inspire fear within us.
To acknowledge their power while striving for coexistence. But is there any evidence beyond the realm of folklore that such a pact could have existed? Is there any historical basis for this legend?
It's important to remember that legends often blend historical events with myth and folklore. It's possible that a real encounter between a villager and a wolf pack sparked the story.
Perhaps there was a period of relative peace between them, a truce that laid the foundation for the legend over time. The details might have become embellished, exaggerated, transformed into something more symbolic and mythic.
Exactly. The specifics may shift with each telling, but the emotional core, the universal truths embedded within the legend, those endure.
The legend's cultural context adds another layer of depth to our exploration. Where does Wolf Mountain fit within the broader tapestry of European folklore?
Wolves hold a complex position in many European cultures. They are often perceived as guardians of the wild, protectors of the natural world, yet also as creatures capable of crossing the threshold between the human and animal realms.
Ah, yes, the werewolf. A creature that embodies this duality perfectly. A being that possesses both the savage power of the wolf and a connection to something mystical and primal.
Precisely. In some stories, wolves are even viewed as psychopomps, guides for souls in the afterlife. There's a long-standing tradition of associating them with liminal spaces, those thresholds between worlds.
Given that context, it makes you wonder if the boy in the Wolf Mountain legend wasn't just forging an agreement with a pack of wolves, but with something far older, something rooted in the very essence of the mountain.
It's a thought-provoking idea. Perhaps the wolves were merely emissaries of a more powerful entity, a spirit of the mountain itself, a force both ancient and enduring.
It feels like we're peeling back the layers of an intricate tapestry. We started with a tale of a pact, but our exploration has led us to contemplate the complex relationship between humanity and nature, the power of belief, and the enduring mystery of the wild.
And that's the beauty of folklore. It serves as a lens through which we can examine the larger questions that have always captivated humanity. The stories aren't merely entertainment, they are reflections of our hopes, our fears, our attempts to make sense of the world around us.
You've articulated it perfectly. This legend isn't just a chilling tale of wolves. It's a reflection of our own anxieties, our yearning for connection, our attempts to grapple with the forces both seen and unseen that shape our lives.
It reminds us that some mysteries are best left unsolved, that some secrets are meant to remain hidden within the shadows of Wolf Mountain. The unknown can be a source of both terror and wonder. It's intriguing to imagine what life would be like in a community where a pact like this shapes everyday reality. How would the legend of the Wolf Mountain Pact influence the lives and beliefs of those living in its shadow?
It's a fascinating thought experiment, isn't it? Generations raised on tales of the boy, the wolves, and the ruby-eyed statue, it's bound to have a profound impact on their culture and worldview.
Imagine a village nestled at the foot of the mountain, its very architecture echoing the legend. Perhaps they would incorporate wolf imagery into their buildings, a constant reminder of the pact that binds them to the wild.
Their homes, their public spaces, even their daily routines. It's not hard to envision how the legend would permeate every aspect of their lives.
Consider the rituals and traditions that might arise, ceremonies to honor the pact, offerings left at the base of the mountain to appease the wolf spirit, tales whispered to children to instill both respect and caution.
Their relationship with the forest would be particularly complex, wouldn't it? Would they avoid venturing into the woods at night, fearing the watchful eyes of the wolves? Would certain areas be considered sacred, off-limits to all but those chosen few who act as intermediaries between the village and the pack?
Their understanding of the natural world would be fundamentally different from our own. They would see themselves not as separate from nature, but as intricately connected to it, bound by an ancient agreement that ensures their survival.
There would be those who doubt, of course, those who dismiss the legend as superstitions, perhaps even those who seek to exploit the mountain or challenge the wolves' authority.
Yes, the inevitable clash between skepticism and belief. What happens when someone dares to disrupt the balance, to break the pact that has held for so long?
Right.
The consequences, as the legend suggests, could be dire.
The wolves might return to their predatory ways. The mountain itself might unleash its fury. It's a stark reminder that some forces are best left undisturbed, that some agreements, no matter how ancient or strange, are crucial to maintain.
It underscores the power of belief, doesn't it? Whether the pact is real or simply a story passed down through generations. The villagers' belief in it shapes their actions, their relationship with nature, their very identity.
That's a powerful point. Their belief in the pact creates its own reality, influencing their choices and shaping their destiny. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, ensuring the continuation of the delicate balance between humanity and the wild.
The legend of the Wolf Mountain Pact offers a glimpse into a world where humans and nature exist in a precarious state of coexistence, bound by an ancient agreement that demands respect and understanding.
It's a chilling reminder that the wild is a force to be reckoned with, capable of both beauty and terror. It's a tale that invites us to consider our own relationship with the natural world, to acknowledge its power, and to ponder the consequences of disrupting the delicate balance that sustains us all.
It's a story that lingers in the mind long after the telling, prompting us to question our assumptions, to explore the boundaries of belief, and to marvel at the enduring mysteries that lie hidden in the shadows of the world around us.
And that brings us to the end of another Terror and Urban Myths. If you enjoyed tonight's episode on the legend of the Wolf Mountain Pact, don't forget to subscribe to our show and give us a like. We'll be back soon with more tales of terror and wonder stories that will chill your bones and ignite your imagination. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring the dark corners of folklore, where the line between reality and myth blurs and the unknown awaits.